Good morning, good morning. Bigg Rich here. Welcome to Fatherhood. This episode is sponsored by Crown Royal Black. So, if you're under the age of 21, please don't drink. Thanks to our friend at Crown Royal, we have us a nice, matter of fact, or the sponsorship is leaving a bottle somewhere in the corner for the fans to check out. So let's just leave it over here. Wow. Now y'all can see Crown Royal the whole time. Cool. I'll take my glass. That's a strong one, Crown Royal. So, now that we got the sponsorships out of the way. So, fatherhood. Welcome to fatherhood. What is fatherhood about, you might ask? Exactly that. Fatherhood is my story. I'm going to tell you the story from the beginning, and I'm going to catch you up to date, and eventually you're going to be right here where I'm at, and we're going to grow together. So fatherhood, what are we going to talk about? Everything. I'm going to give you the raw. I'm going to give you the real. I think men need to hear this. I think somebody needs to hear this. We are living in a different time than we used to live in, where men wasn't really fathers, and fathers really didn't play a big part in the household at some point. You know, it just at some point between the 70s, moving up to the 80s and 90s, and just that whole just era. It's just fathers just wasn't in the picture, and the law at the time was a little bit different. Moms got a lot of different things, but things have changed. And I say those things for a reason, because in this fatherhood story, I'm not just going to tell you the good. I'm going to tell you the bad. I'm going to tell you the ugly. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because there is somebody out there that's a dope father that's doing his part, and he's facing a lot of struggles, and he's feeling like he's defeated right now, and he's feeling like nobody understands his struggle, and he feel like nobody is listening. But it is. There's somebody out there going through the same thing, and I want to share my story so I can understand. All right, where do we start? Beginning. I'm gonna start so far from the beginning. I'll start from the very beginning. Me and the mother of my child, during the time frame we was involved, we actually came to an agreement to separate and go our own ways and live our own lives individually. Roughly 8 days or a little bit longer after that conversation, I was in the studio. I remember it to this day. I was in the studio working with a client, and I got a phone call. So that phone call was from the mother of my child today. And what the crazy part is, when I got this phone call, I'm in the lab, I'm working, I'm jamming, I'm in the lab just jamming. I got the phone call, and I said, she gonna tell me she pregnant. I felt it in my bones. She called me. What you doing? Working. You feel me? So then she was like, can you talk? I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, I'm pregnant. And then she went into this spiel about she don't know how she ended up pregnant, because she was on the pill and this and this and this, and it was a long conversation. I'll be honest with you. I will be straight straightforward, honest. At this point in the story, I wanted her to get an abortion. Why would I want something like that, you might ask? At that point in my life, I was in no position to be a father. She just had a child, I don't think her, she just had a child. And she was just not all the way stable at that moment. And in this point of my life, it was just in ours. And also, we have just completely understood that we don't work very well together and we need to go our own separate ways. So the fact of being together wasn't even an option on the table, at least for me. The fact that being together with her was not an option on the table. So at this point in time, I was actually saying, let's do an abortion. Neither one of us are ready, let's not do that. All right? So at that point in time, tell you step by step, she was in agreement. All right. So much in agreement. I tell you, she had came over to my house the next day so we can talk about it. And I was drinking, and she was like, well, we're not having a baby anyway, so she had drank. And at this point in time, she had took a few sips, and she just said it made her feel woozy, so she stopped. Because at this point, we both was like, it's about to be an abortion. So then one day, I get a phone call. And in that phone call, me and her have a whole conversation. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm going to give you the truth. I promise you I'm going to give you the truth. I had a moment. And I'm like, you know what? I want to have this baby. And I told her that. I'm like, you going to be okay? We going to be cool? I'm going to do my part to help you take care of this baby. But she was still standing on no, nah, you sure you want to do that? So at this point in time, I'm like, that was how I feeling at that moment. A couple more days go by. We had got into it. Over these next couple days, kept getting into it. So then I'm like, you know what, you're right. We don't need to do this. This was a reminder that we don't need to. This is so toxic. This is not the type of family I want to raise my daughter, that type of situation I want to raise my child. I can't say daughter because I'm going to be 100. Before, when she told me she was pregnant, I wanted a son so bad. I wanted a junior so bad. Listen, I'm telling y'all to this today because later in the story, when we get to that point, I'm going to show you a video of my reaction when I found out I was having a daughter. And then I'm going to explain to y'all what happened after. So that's why I'm saying that. I really was like, yo, I'm going to get me a junior. Give me a junior. I promise I'm going to get me a junior. All right, so this one in time, that's what I was thinking when I first saw she was pregnant. She going to have a boy, yeah. So this point in time, she was kind of, so we got into it. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. So at this point, we got into an argument. It was Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, I had a show that night with Lydia Caesar. And Lydia Caesar had this song called Through It All. And the song is about loving someone through all the struggles, through all the pain, through all the good, through all the bad, standing by someone through everything that they just sticking through it all. It's called Through It All. And when I heard that song and I'm watching her perform it live, I was so inspired. I'm like, you know what? Hey, nah, I want to do this. So once again, I went to her. Valentine's Day, I went and I bought this bracelet. I bought her a bracelet. And it was a charm bracelet. and I bought her the first charm was a pacifier. It was like a nice, beautiful pacifier. Had like a little diamond pacifier, but it was like, it was a pacifier. It was to symbol our child. So it was like on Valentine's Day, we exchanged gifts. When I came back from that show, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna love it through it all. You feel me? I'm like, we're gonna do this. So I go back on Valentine's Day. I give her this bracelet, and then this bracelet is like the bracelet. So when I gave her the bracelet, I can't make this up. She like looked at the bracelet and was like, "What is this?" And she like fiddled around, and she was just like, "Okay." And then she says, "Start fiddling through like the other stuff," and I was just like, I felt some type of way personally, because in the past I felt like she just didn't receive things well, so she didn't show affection well. So when that happened, I was kind of like, turned back off a little bit. So me and her that night, we had a conversation. Once again, I will not lie to you. The story, it is a roller coaster. I laid in that bed, and I told her, I got your back. I am going to support you through this. Don't have any worries. I got you. All right? That's what I told her. I did tell her that. From that day forward, I stepped up. I elevated the type of man I was. It was her first trimester. She was asleep all the time. I'm talking all the time. I never seen a person sleep so much. All the time. And not to mention, I'm talking about I was going through morning sickness. I was going through I was feeling the pregnancy while she was sleeping. You feel me? And at that time, she was at my house. She had her own house, but she was at my house all the time. She had two other children. I was helping her with her other two children. I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was helping, I was disciplined, I was doing everything while this started. So I felt like it's no felt. She stopped working. She stopped going to work. She just stopped everything. Trying everything. At least as much as I know from my perspective. When I say the reason why, I want to explain that so nobody can assume. The reason why I'm saying that she stopped everything, she didn't get up and go to a job. She slept all day. Every day. I was the one helping her with her kids and doing whatever the kids needed and cooking and making sure the kids go to bed and doing it because she was asleep. She was tired. She was exhausted. So I helped with baths and changing and feeding. I helped with all of that. So, because she was just asleep. So it's like, as a man, for me, I felt like she became so dependent on me that she no longer felt like she needed to do anything. She just stopped doing everything. I was doing everything. It got to a point where I was so frustrated. I was so just in this ball. Like I was in my own home and I didn't feel at home in my own home because it was just like this is not what I thought family. This is not I wasn't ready for where I was. If I'm going to be sitting here and be honest with you, I wasn't ready for where I was. It got to the point, me and her was just at each other all the time. It was just anger. Then the argument stopped. And then it's like, I would just be in the studio all the time. And she'll be asleep all the time. And the kids will be here and I just, That was like, and then it got to the point where I couldn't take it no more. I didn't want to be in a position where the mother of my child just depended on me and did not do something for herself. Because I don't want to be in a position where my child can't live the lifestyle that she lived because I'm not there, because her mom is not choosing to step it up. I didn't want that. So at that point, I'm like, hey, it's time to go home. It's time for you to get back on your grind, handle your business, get back on your feet. I understand you're pregnant, but it is not impossible. It is early on. You have not made it to an over large size where you can't do anything. And I heard that the first trimester is really strong. So what I did was, before she went home and went her own way, I told her, when you become around 7 to 8 and 9 months, when you get to a larger size, at that point, I will start coming to your house. And at that point, I will help. I will help with you. I will help with the kids. I will help at least 3 to 4 days a week. And I kept that promise. This is fatherhood, man. Y'all gonna hear this story, and this story will continue. So we're gonna end it here. And I want to say thank y'all for tuning in and listening to my story, this fatherhood. I honestly hope y'all can learn something from this. I hope y'all can get something from this. Like, I went through different struggles. I went through different challenges. I want to keep these kind of like short videos. I don't want to be really, really long. Like, this length of it is pretty cool. We're going to go straight for it. No cuts. You're getting the real deal, Holyfield. You're getting the story, the truth. And every week, why not? I'll drop 2 videos a week continuing this story. Just late night fatherhood story. But this is real, man. I went through something, and I'm not ashamed that I went through emotional something. This wasn't nothing easy at all. Being a father is not easy. Being a parent isn't easy. The struggles that I went through, the challenges I faced, the things you're going to hear, some of it is going to be disturbing. Some of it is going to be like, what? How? This is the tip of the iceberg. This is just the start. Things are about to get deep. See you next week.